Hi friends, welcome to a collective message. Welcome to this special topic, this experimental project that we're working on. Today we're asking the collective, the power of the collective, who is going to prison. And our goal of this reading is to focus on the transmutation with this person, to get into alignment with manifesting the outcome. Okay, so we'll be pulling from four of my experimental projects, which are four handmade decks that I've been working on in my research studies. So the first one is the Peaceful Relations. The first one is the Peaceful Relations deck. Okay, the second one is the Legally Spiritual. The third one is the Continued Education and Career Development. And finally, messages from this companion or counterpart or anyone special that you might need to get messages from. So let's hop right on into it. So messages from this person. I want to get messages from this person. Okay. To start, my intention is the messages from the person who is going to prison, but this could also be from an important ally. Okay. So this person, from the overhead selection, the significators that we pulled, this person has been a teacher. This person has had maybe they have had more experience than you. They've had more time doing something than you. This person has been a person in a position of power. This person has abused their business, criminal, or military authorities. But this person has been a companion. So this is someone that you have gone on a journey with. This is someone that has maybe been a part of your ancestry and family. This could be a family member. But this is someone who reflects back to you the shadow aspects. They saw that you were on path to becoming a teacher, and you have been so loyal, tenacious, and unselfish with this person. But this person has had the tendency to manipulate or abuse students. They have been teaching negative traits and destructive skills. And they have had an exaggerated belief that they're the only means which this can succeed. Maybe they felt that they were the only person who was able to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And they may have seen that you were very loyal to them because of this skill or wisdom or experience and knowledge that they had. Okay. But this person, you may have had an instinctual response to this person. They saw you as serving humanity with humility, and they knew that if you were to become a teacher, then you would be able to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom. This person has been teaching negative skills, traits, teaching the wrong things, not imparting spiritual insights, or they have done something to manipulate or abuse you in a way. This person, you may have had an instinctual response to something that they said or did that let you know from the jump that this was not a healthy dynamic. This is a lesson for you to always trust your instinctual response, because this is someone who may have even pretended to be loyal and tenacious, but they really chose someone else, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Some of these people, you were hoping that they were an ally, and they have had a shadow aspect of with you. Maybe they've had a grievance with you that has made them feel like they've had a grievance with you, and they have been exploiting their position in your life as a companion by thinking that their cooperation is the only way that you could succeed in this. Okay, for some of you guys, if you are thinking about an ally, for others though, this person who's going to prison, this is someone who did something abusive to you, and you may have caught it at the onset. Maybe they gave you a backhanded compliment. Maybe they did something that was a little sketchy. Okay, but you have just had a loyalty to a fault. You may have had a loyalty. You've had a loyalty to a destructive ruler. Okay, or when you realize something about you, realize that this person had been teaching negative traits and destructive skills, you may have totally disconnected from this person, emotionally withdrew from this person, put a lot of distance between you and someone, this person that you previously, were loyal and tenacious. But I'm hearing that when you became a teacher, you started to discern that this was a conflict, or that this was someone who was imparting the wrong information, someone who's really been trying to stop you from growing, or you realize that this was like, maybe you even went a totally different path, and did not like follow up after this person, and they grew, because you were not following up after them, then they grew bitter. Okay, is what I'm hearing. Okay, some of you guys, this could be an ex. Okay, this could be an ex, someone that you were in a relationship with, where they betrayed your confidence, or they have done something they've lost their personal identity. If this is an ex that you think is going to prison, this person has lost their personal identity. Some of them have done something to conform. They've done something to fall into the masses of people who hate you, is what I'm hearing. This is definitely a betrayal bond. This is not someone that is a stranger. Okay, this is a betrayal bond. Okay. So I'm chasing you now. Okay, who is this person who's going to prison? I wasn't expecting to find true love. I am clear now. Okay. I definitely feel like, yeah, I'm obsessed with your body. This could be a woman that became obsessed with your body. And then we have, I can't wait to have sex with you. Okay. And then I'm pushing the third parties out. Okay. So your companion I'm hearing this might be an enemies to lovers type of thing. For a lot of you guys, this could be an enemies to lovers type of thing, where this person, they were previously, like, they were not expecting to find true love, and they had some type of shadow attachment to you, where they have been struggling to integrate a lot of different truths. This person who's going to prison has been a third party. It might not be a romantic third party, but it could be someone in the marketplace or in the industry that has been competing for influence, authority, and power, sex, money, and power. It could be any of those, okay, type of third parties. But this person may have, I'm hearing that these people became obsessed with you when you found true love. Some of you guys, you and your person both have been reflecting back deep trust issues, commitment issues, and both of you guys may have even had third parties where this person has been, they have really struggled to, they've had a deep internal struggle with true love. Okay, I'm also getting that these other people from the peaceful relations deck, let's get into it. Okay, and for these third parties, I'm hearing that they're definitely not true love. They're karmic partners that they haven't had boundaries with, that they haven't been able to enforce the rejections. The third parties are not about sex, okay? The third parties are about your person's low self-esteem, okay? Their people-pleasing tendencies, how they've lost their identity, and how they have been projecting and using all of these different defense mechanisms to avoid having a healthy ego. This person has, this person, I'm getting that this person that loves you, so the person that loves you is struggling with your age difference, perhaps, or some kind of other unconventional aspect of your relationship that makes them display some form of emotional weakness, that makes them inept in the material realm. You need more earth element in your relationship with your ally, someone that you're about to have sex with, someone who's obsessed with your body. So like I said, this is not about sex. This is not about your body. This is about a deep internal struggle around your rapid acceleration in life, and how you have advanced to this teacher state, to this messiah state, and having a true love. This person, your true love was not clear in the past, and they have been projecting issues with, some unconventional aspects of your relationship, like age difference. They may, like I said, a lot of them have issues with their self-image. So if there's an age difference, a lot of them could be having a lot of anxieties about their appearance, having anxieties about growing older. Some of you guys are also having anxieties about this person growing older as well. You know that they won't be alive forever, and that especially a lot of traditional households have an older man in them, and these that is your protection and provider, and it's scary thinking about them not being there. And I think that, like, they really get triggered by this and escape the responsibility totally, okay? True love is a big responsibility. This person is clear, okay? They know that you're the one for them. They know that they have been, of what they're aware of, what they've been projecting, but I'm hearing that this is now, right? But the person who has been committing crimes against you, we're going to get into it right now. Let's get into it. This person, this person may have I'm hearing that this person may have cheated on you with your teacher, or somebody that they thought was older than you. They had a third party, that somebody that was older than you, okay? Or they have just been exploring a lot of different options, okay? But some of you guys you might consider this an infidelity. Some of you guys, this is a relationship with an ex-partner that had infidelity. Maybe you were the infidelity. And so it just seems, it just feels like you are the villainized person if you are the third party, okay? You and your person are in union with one another. You and your companion are in union with one another, okay? And so you guys are definitely getting close to having sex. But some of you guys, this is someone that was like, this third party, or this person that's going to prison is like a sister, or somebody that has been envious of your traditional household, and I'm hearing there was no boundaries in the traditional household, okay? That's what I'm hearing. We have unsolicited advice. Okay, tell me about the person that's going to prison. Yeah, I'm definitely getting infidelity. Some of you guys, if you were not in a commitment with this person, I'm hearing a known commitment, not something that you made up in your head, but a commitment, like a marriage, someone who you may have a household with, you live with them. It's a real commitment. You have a title, and things like that. I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is the infidelity that we are talking about. For others, this person is just having a lot of trust issues about infidelity, and people have been giving them a lot of unsolicited advice about trying to paint you out to be like, they know that you're the true love, right? So they'll try to make it like it's not a true love. Like they'll try to make it seem like, oh, that person is going to be cheating on you because you're growing older, and that, they'll try to make them have all these different anxieties about their appearance. And so it was just, I'm hearing that for some of you guys lost a home or totally lost a lot of security with one another because of this third party who might have been an ex, or yeah, wrong assumptions. Like some of you guys, they made the wrong assumption that you were going to be this person committing infidelity, right? And so they projected a lot, and they might have, thought that you were the one that was going to be, but I feel like for a lot of them, this is the crazy part about it, especially if you are the third party and you know that they were married or they were a divorcee. A lot of you, know that this person has not been a committed partner in the past. You know that they were not loyal, tenacious before. They actually come from a betrayal bond. So coming into true love is very different because all of their other relationships have had infidelity. They made the assumption that you were going to be cheating on them, and they lost their personal identity and lost their trust in you. And some of you guys may have lost a home, lost total security, because of a imbalanced relationship that was giving unsolicited advice. Okay, this is someone who, they like they saw them as your teacher. They saw them as older than you. This may have even been an older sister or some ex. Okay, some older woman or older person that saw your traditional household or saw that you were young, and a lot of them made a lot of assumptions. Okay, some of you guys, this is their ex that has been committing crimes against you, and they're going to prison for doing this. Okay, some of them, if they went back to their ex, they totally lost their personal identity, and choosing true love is where you will be your true self. And so if they're not with you and they know that you're their true love, then that's, then they are choosing to lose their personal identity. They're choosing to conform. Okay, they chose someone else, right? They chose they chose they chose lust over true love. Okay, even if they know that it's true love, some of them will still choose lust. Okay, and then finally, from the legally spiritual, not perfect, not at all a comprehensive review of the law. So, but it could get us started somewhere. Okay, so let's see, what else do we need to know about this person who's going to prison? Okay, some of you guys are about to have a reconciliation, or there has been a union. There's been a reconciliation or reunion or union, where there's a conversation that will be had about wrong assumptions. I'm getting that this person had to clear a lot of wrong assumptions. It's like something about you. Maybe they saw your occupation, they saw your body, or they saw that you were a service to other people in some type of way, and they were not able to accept some terms because of some defensiveness and projection issues from their past, where there was infidelity and just like a lot of past baggage where there was not true love. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. This could be someone that you really do have, you love this person. Okay, and but I think that they may have the reason why that they may be an ally. This could be that they're an ally, or they're the one going to prison. If they are an ally, then this person is going to, I'm hearing that there's a conversation where you guys will be you'll be sticking to the truth and only talking about things that are relevant. This person may have, this ally, I'm getting that they may have abused their position. They have some abusive tendencies. I think that they're ultimately a good person, but the reason why they have been emotionally stagnant or defensive towards you, the ally, um, if the ally is a romantic partner, that person is a true love, okay? They're a companion, but I definitely feel like there's a cycle of betrayal with this person where they just became obsessed and they did not have enough information to integrate some important fundamental truths about your unconventional relationship, and this may have led them down a path of losing security with you, okay? um Maybe they started to do something negative and destructive because they know that they have been the ally. They know, some of them, they know that they have, I'm getting, at first they had wrong assumptions about you, and after shifting their perspective they realized that those assumptions were projections. And through this whole period of them shifting their perspective, they have had an exaggerated belief that they're the only way that you could succeed. And I feel that now you guys are getting, you are pushing this person into a corner of a stalemate that they have been at. It's like they have really been holding their feelings back. This person is actually obsessed with you and can't, like, they can't stop desiring you. And it's because of true love and not because of anything else, okay? Um, so, the reason why this person has been stagnating is because, they felt that they were the teacher. They felt that they were the ones that things, and way, the way in which you guys could succeed in your vision together. Um, but this person is starting to realize that they have actually been the one losing their personal identity, that they have actually been betraying the relationship in this stalemate, that they've actually been betraying the relationship, losing full security. Some of them started blocking your number, started blocking your calls, stopped communicating. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like this is why conversation is so important, is because this person may have, you guys may have lost their home, stopped communicating because they were losing their identity in this poor self-esteem that they've had around accepting and feeling worthy and accepting of this true love. This person is still feeling rejected and abandoned from their past baggage. And if they had a third party, it was not about sex, or it was because this person, you have been dismantling an authority in the network that has been teaching negative traits and destructive skills. This person is actually not a good companion. This is like, this authority represents people losing their personal identity and doing something negative and destructive, possibly for money, possibly because they make some type of wrong assumption about you and switch to the other team. Like this companion or this ally has been betraying you in a stalemate, and finding shared values with people who are destructive and negative, okay? And it's because they don't want to take responsibility for something, or they really see you as the person who has the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom. And that's intimidating and makes them defensive, right? Because you disillusion a lot of these other teachers and authorities in the marketplace, but you also challenge their sense of security. You guys have an unconventional, especially if there's an age difference or some other unconventional aspect of your relationship. This person has really struggled with a power dynamic in your relationship and have not been able to show up fully, leading to dangerous projections and a deep internal struggle. But I definitely see that, conversations are going to be, you are about to have a conversation with this person because they want to get closer to having sex, okay? They can't hold their feelings back anymore. But as far as this person, this person who is, who you're asking about, they could be up for prison time, but I'm here for a lot of you guys. This person wants to negotiate and settle, outside of, like, outside of court, or they want to negotiate a fair deal with you, okay? Because a lot of them, the reason why these people have been committing crimes against you, some of this is a crime. This is to obstruct your human and civil liberties. Some of these people have had an issue with your religion or your belief system, and they made a lot of different wrong assumptions about your occupation, your lifestyle, your religious beliefs and values. And they felt that, the reason why they will negotiate and settle is because they cannot justify this violation. A lot of them have, you need to hold those in authority responsible. There's someone who made wrong assumptions and thought that they would get away with making a violation. They're clear now, but that still does not, they still knew that it was a risk of harm to you to make a violation. So even if you are destructive and projecting negative, you have a problem with someone, there's a grievance, there's a conflict. Even if there is even if there's a wrong assumption that you're not aware of at the time, you are aware of the risk of the harm. You are aware of the violation that is not supposed to be made. Okay. And so I think that a lot, happened from there. Okay. So let's see what's going on here. Okay. I'm hearing that this person may have done something negligent. Okay, negligent. Especially if it involves like a workplace, something without care. I'm hearing something they did something without a care. That's what I'm hearing. They did something without regard for the emotional consequences, and I'm hearing that there's a lot of damage, emotional damage, and may have even led to securities being obstructed because of wrong assumptions and conflict. Okay, lots of conflict that tore down a security. That's what I'm hearing. Because I'm hearing that people saw your home perhaps and saw your values or religion reflected from your home, and they didn't like what you were teaching, is what I'm hearing. They wanted what they were teaching to be communicated, expressed, and I feel like the irony of it is that what they wanted to communicate was something that was wrong. I'm hearing that these people are literally, like, if this is a tarot reader or someone who thinks that they're a teacher, what they're teaching is wrong. What they're teaching is negative and destructive skills. This is a delusional rapport with the divine. This is not a spiritual redemptive connection with the divine. Okay. Some of them have just been dealing with, they've had an altered intuition, and they come from a family violence, they come from infidelity. So these wrong assumptions and these projections, and what they were not seeing things clearly, y'all. They were, they may have just been obsessed with your body and thought that it was hate or anger, you know what I'm saying? But really, these people are obsessed with you. They really actually like you, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really actually like you, friend. Okay. So, tell me about the prison. Okay, we have intentional torts. Yeah, I'm hearing like what they were doing was intentional. Okay, it's not just like, oh, I'm not sure of what's going on here, I'm going to make decisions, and I'm not really sure about the risk of harm. These were intentional harms. Okay, they were intentional about it. These are the people who are going to prison, people who did something intentional about to harm you, especially if they saw you as they may have saw you as one of their students, as one of their associates. They may have, but they saw your home and religion, and they did not want you to have a platform. They did not want you to teach. They wanted to teach something negative and destructive to uphold a superficial system that does not serve our inner needs. So these people saw your home as making this information more accessible to people. Okay. Some of them, they had you, they knew that it was a risk getting you involved with their ex. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing something where they knew that their ex would start chasing you. They knew that their ex would start committing, like, they knew that their ex might start fighting you, right? Because you were the true love and the person that was making them put up boundaries, and the person that they were having all this obsessive sex with or something like that. But I'm feeling like, and they were just a person that kept getting cheated on, right? And so this ex wanted to destroy your relationship and destroy your home, and they started doing things intentionally to obstruct your securities. Okay. Or if you were a student, this person, they had literally been lying to the class, giving the wrong information to the class, is what I'm hearing. Okay. Consumer data. Okay. and then we have a dysgraphia, and then we have otter on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I'm getting that somebody was literally just lying, okay? They're lying about their consumer data is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that these people were literally just lying about their, like, some of them, they started to, like, they tried to, this duplicitous person is, you know, they saw that you were enjoying your money, saw that you were safe and protected in your home. They may have saw you getting supportive relationships and maintaining healthy boundaries, or this could be happening now after all of this security breaching and criminal behavior, subversive behavior, okay? I feel like what happened that made these people is they may have been looking at the consumer data and have been thinking that this is what should be bought into. That is the dangerousness of social media, of big data, is that you can look at these numbers and make a lot of wrong assumptions about them. You can see people getting a lot of numbers, or you can see people getting a lot of reach, right? But that does not mean that it's real. Okay, these teachers that get a lot of consumers are literally teaching negative traits and destructive skills. That is not the inner system that serves them. Those are people that they have brainwashed, and people that have not had the ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. These people just get taught the wrong thing and fall into something that's sensationalized or popularized, and you may have come in and gave them some unsolicited advice and been like, look, this is negative and this is destructive, and that may have pissed people off and they were very offended by your enlightenment. But for others, these other teachers, they started giving your partner unsolicited advice and started planting a lot of seeds of doubt that made them not trust you. And I'm also getting that first situation where they may have looked at the numbers and thought that these were legitimate teachers, but these were not legitimate teachers. Some of them, they saw your grammar, vocabulary, and your critical thinking, and they knew that you were the teacher. They knew that you were the authority, and a lot of them have been, you know, people do not read on social media. If you're looking at consumer data, you're looking at something that's eye-catching, something that's trendy, something that, you know, rouse a bunch of, you know, low vibrational people. I hate to say it, but the masses, the matrix, like that's like the matrix group. That's a matrix group. I'm hearing that there was this person who's going to prison or who is facing prison time. They have been doing something intentional to you to harm. They could be trying to harm your data, is what I'm hearing. They could be trying to make you a shadow account. Some of them could be trying to stop you from reaching on social media, is what I'm hearing. Doing something with your consumer data to track your information, perhaps. So, you know, some of you guys, they could be using your consumer data to intentionally harm you. So this could be being able to find your physical location, being able to find your longitude, latitude, being able to find your home, obstructing your femininity, obstructing your receptivity. Some of you guys have maybe been around a home and have not had enough security around the home, have not had technology, have not had camera systems, have not had financial security. And I'm also getting something where people, they're trying to follow your spelling with a combination lock, is what I'm hearing. Some of you guys, they could be trying to find your spelling with a combination lock, or they could be trying to find, they're trying to spell out something, is what I'm hearing. I don't know what that means, but this could also be that these people are trying to they're trying to follow and trace your a code, a logic, or pattern. So if you are using a combination lock, make sure you scramble your code after locking your lock. And I'm also getting some of you guys would benefit from turning on the going incognito on your web browsers, is what I'm hearing. Going incognito. But yeah, a lot of them have been trying to use your consumer data to intentionally harm you. I'm also getting that these could be just like, if there's not so much as like these big data tech gurus, this could literally just be like copycats who try to copy your writing. I'm hearing people are trying to copy your book, copy your writing. Somebody's trying to copy your artwork is what I'm hearing. This could be someone who's trying to copy your artwork and remove you, okay? Because they don't want your body to display this artwork is what I'm hearing. They don't want your body to display this artwork. Is what I'm hearing, or they don't want your writing to be presented. If you're a black writer, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing if you're a writer, if you're an educated black person, you definitely probably have somebody going to prison, okay? But for others, they may have just been in this, your ally was at a delay because they have been looking at the consumer data, okay, and saying that a lot of these people, these teachers who have like bigger numbers are actually abusing the students, manipulating them, and teaching negative and destructive skills. So they may have, I'm feeling like for some of them though, the shadow aspect is that they are also, someone who places their financial gain first as well, so they might have been in alignment with manipulating or abusing students or teaching negative traits and destructive skills, okay? Some of them want these, they don't want to impose the spiritual insights, okay? But you're like, and so some of them could be trying to stop your data from reaching, is what I'm hearing, some of them, and this is intentional towards, their conduct is intentional, especially those who may work in Meta. A lot of them, they have a lot of wrong assumptions about your lifestyle, your religion, and they just was like, oh, we're going to shadow ban that. They were trying to shadow ban you, okay? Or they were trying to stop you from converting, converting consumers is what I'm hearing. But I'm hearing that now they're seeing that after finding the ability to communicate, getting more experience, skill, and wisdom, that you are converting, and a lot of these people are actually decelerating in life, okay? You were very lucky is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing you were very lucky to have survived this intentional tort is what I'm hearing, okay? Some of you whooped that motherfucker. They were not, you were worried about infidelity. Don't worry about no infidelity. This person, the reason why they've been at this crossroads is because of financial gains. It's because of the negative traits and destructive skills and the fake teachers and the fake fellowshippers and the people who are driven by a selfish and intense desire. Now that you are converting consumers and they actually can see that there is a profit, that is what gives people something to invest in. Before, the market was these destructive teachers, but now you are this teacher who provides the system that serves us, and with your ability to communicate the knowledge, experience, and skill and wisdom, you are now converting and reaching your intended target and aligning with this ally. They were not expecting to find this true love, so a lot of them have been, at the south end, they have been with the conformists, just trying to make money, right? Just trying to discourse, just trying to live this unfulfilling life, right? But you came around and they feel like they were very lucky to have found true love. So this person is about to send you a letter that's going to show you how whipped they are, okay? They're going to show you that don't be concerned about no infidelity or no third parties. They're going to show you and give you the highest honor when they put this person who has been intentionally torting in the grave, okay? So, yeah. In this conversation with this person, this correspondence that you received to this person, stick to the truth. I feel like you will not have much to say. I think that this person is going to be coming in to teach you something about security and to tell you how to show you that you're safe and protected from these teachers who want influence and fame and recognition so bad that they have been trying to steal your data is what I'm hearing. They've been trying to steal your data and may have even resorted to committing crimes, like not just, these could be white collar corporate crimes, but I feel like for a lot of you, these are people who have been doing something in your, like, to harm you physically, okay? intentionally harming you. I'm hearing people, there could be defective products, there can be insurance fraud, these could be recorded telephone calls, that could be a form of your consumer data as well. This could be somebody that you talked to on the phone that was mad that you hadn't asked, is what I'm hearing. An ex-partner that was mad that you hadn't asked. I'm hearing they wanted to put you in prison. Some of them, I'm hearing that the clapback and the plot twist in this whole thing is that this person who, I'm hearing somebody who wanted you to be in prison, I'm hearing they found out that you were immune, pardoned by the government, perhaps some of you, and then the rest of them, I'm hearing they started committing crimes against you, trying to, I'm hearing that they've been falsifying documents, they have been giving defective products, they have been recording telephone calls to try to incriminate you, and this that's going to debunk all of that. I'm hearing that this letter correspondence is coming in is going to debunk all of that. This person has been at the crossroads because they've been concerned about infidelity with you, and they had a lot of wrong assumptions about your lifestyle, but now they see that you're this pious person, this good person, and this true love. They just been delaying because they've been waiting for the consumer data, is what I'm hearing. Okay. And they're thanking you for your patience, but they want you to know that they're totally obsessed with you. Okay. So don't think that this third party is about sex. It's not about infidelity or sex. It's about these people who previously held the market, that they have been intentionally trying to hurt you, and you will be receiving the letter that they can no longer hurt you. Okay. When this person had a volatile mood swing about your authority position, about your ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, about your unconventional aspects of your relationship. Maybe you're successful at a young age. Maybe there's a large age difference between the two of you. Maybe they hate the fact that you can command them so much with this sex. They have been these were just like, they were under a lot of wrong assumptions about that, and after shifting their perspective, it's like something about you whipping them so I don't know, they whipped, friend. I don't know how you shifted their perspective, but you whipped them into an ally. They may have been enemies to lovers, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing whipping them into an ally. Okay. They gonna make it very clear that they chose you, and that all these other people ain't gonna shine the light on all these other people who have been negative and destructive. Okay. They had a pessimistic wild mood swing about infidelity from their past, and this was all projections and anxieties about their appearance and their old age, and if they were good enough, successful enough, and worthy enough of a true love, friend. This was not, this person, you both need to find some sense of security, because you both have been coming from these betrayal bonds. Especially some of you guys are going to find out that this person, this authority in your life, that you thought was a companion, you thought they were loyal, tenacious, and unselfish. You loved your teachers. What I'm hearing here, you loved your teachers, but you realized you outgrew them, and realized that these were negative and destructive traits and skills, and that was not something that you could follow. Okay. And when people saw that you were breaking away from this authority that was the established convention, it was a panicking situation as well, is what I'm hearing. And they got a lot of unsolicited advice about you, and people tried to paint you out to be this Jezebel or this, infidel, and it was just a lot of confusion, is what I'm hearing. Okay. So, tell me more about this situation with this person who's going to prison, friend. Okay. And then we will wrap. Tell me more about the situation with this person who's going to prison. Yeah, this is definitely a high priestess in the reverse. It could be a tarot reader. The Three of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, a canceled friend. And you and your person are about to go live happily ever after. This person who, I'm hearing that this person got canceled for being a destructive, negative skill and force and trait and authority in our life. Okay, they're canceled. Nobody is supporting them, and you are getting all the healthy, happy relationships. Your relationships, I'm getting that these could be multiple allies coming in, sending you letters of love, sending you letters that they had been shifting their perspective around this whole thing. A lot of these people, you will be having multiple conversations, but they will provide security for you, safe safety and protection from this high priestess in the reverse, this person who gets attention for the wrong reasons. That's the, like, if you're a tarot reader, the high priestess in the reverse gets attention, but they get attention for the wrong reasons. So if they had consumer data, it's like we're not liking what we see, but we see that a lot of people are buying into it, right? So sometimes it can be hard for investors as well, when they see these negative traits and destructive skills getting so much traction, but we know that those are not safe. And we know that social media does not create the standard for anything, okay? The wealth that America's had, the wealth that was established in the world happened long before social media came around, okay? So a lot of you guys, this is a beautiful story of you prevailing against some type of conformity, idolatry, convention, cult, some type of attack on your liberty, okay? Where a lot of people made a lot of wrong assumptions about your approach to your life, okay? But your perspective flipped. It was actually this person, the high priestess in the reverse, that was the infidel. There was actually this high priestess in the reverse that was the negative trait and destructive skill. Somebody who misuses a spiritual practice is what I'm hearing. They might be converting, but that's a misuse of the practice. That's to do something destructive and negative. It's not something that we, and it's not something that serves us, okay? And things, I'm also getting that things fizzled out. They may have been getting attention before, or they may have been getting the consumer data before, but things are fizzling out, and you can tell that this person's not reflective. They're not writing. They're not spelling things right, is what I'm hearing. People are saying they're poor handwriting, they're poor spelling, poor grammar, poor vocabulary, poor critical thinking skills. So if the market, they thought that they were the ability. They thought that they were the teacher. They thought that they were the one that knew how to communicate the knowledge, skill, experience, and wisdom. But people are starting to get disillusioned with them, and things are fizzling out. Where they previously held the friendships in the market, people are starting to see that they have dysgraphia, that they have I don't know, they have a learning disability. They can't write. They keep misspelling things. They don't double check their work. They're not. I'm hearing they have poor body awareness, poor spatial awareness. They don't move right. They don't move like the water. These people are in trouble because they are literally just like not the tea that we thought that they were. What we're realizing is that we are not really into that, especially because some of y'all then bossed up, or you found ways to break these wrong assumptions. And this is the disillusionment, I think. It's not that it's about sex. It's not that it's about, it's not that it's about desiring anybody else. It's not, I don't even think that they thought that someone was better than you. They may have just seen that you were not, maybe in the past you were not able to communicate, or you had to get more experience, or you were not getting the consumer data before, right? And they see throughout this whole period that you've been the one that has been building the spiritual connection. You have been the one celebrating. You have been the one going within. And this has totally shifted their perspective of you. And they realize that you're the one that has the good writing, and you're the one that knows how to communicate for real. Like, it's literally like the irony of this is that this person has been projecting you, and where they thought that this consumer data meant an establishment, it actually was not an establishment that was maintained because of all these canceled relationships, all this fizzling out. They're not growing as much as they used to, or they might be getting attention, but they're not getting it for the wrong reason. And everyone's saying that that they're abusing the students, and they're not really teaching the students anything. And then you're just here, by a merit, and by culture, and by merit. And now a lot of you are starting to get the consumer data, and this is going to help, help would heal a division in the marketplace where when people realize that these were negative traits and destructive skills, nobody's going to support that, right? They're going to be like, wait, we just did not know what we did not know. And I think that that was the whole issue, Fran, is that people did not know what they did not know. And through this whole process of you learning to communicate and you becoming the true authority, you know, and doing all of this despite these people's intentional torts, that's tea, bitch. Okay, is what I'm hearing. That's very tea. And it makes you look like you are getting a notoriety for surviving a destruction, an intentional tort, an intentional plotting of your downfall. And because you were able to do this, people see that you were really the service to humanity, right? You were put, I'm hearing that this person that's facing prison time put you in a very humble position. And, you know, recovering and recovering and flipping your perspective has totally with this person is what I'm hearing, okay? They were under a wrong assumption before because of a duplicitous person. Yeah, these people were very egoic and you were the generous person that was serving with humanity and humility. They may have tried to paint you out to be the egoic person, right? This person was totally projecting. They were the one that was guilty of the egoism. They were the one that was negative, destructive, right? They were the betrayal. They were the one that was causing people to lose their personal identity, right? So that's what I'm saying, friends. That's the person who's going to prison. That's really tea. And that's really the key. I love you so much. Let me know how this resonates, and I'll see you in the next one.